obviously ESL has held a few tournaments here at MCM in the past. What do you think of MCM, and how important is it, do you think, to hold like live eSport matches to help grow the scene in the UK?
So as you know, this is really specifically around the UK. We're focused purely on UK teams at Comic Con, so we chose the event because of the community aspect of it, and it's just a great crowd. So first choice on our agenda, really.
Okay. And can you tell us a bit about how do you go about sort of organising these things? You know, so you've got CSGO here today. Maybe you could tell us a bit about that.
I think a lot of blood, sweat and tears goes into an event like this. A lot of organisation. The biggest challenge really is getting the talent in place, getting everyone here. It's not a large-scale event where we can accommodate the players, so they have to organise on their side. So really it's just about creating that experience for the players, thinking how can we make this awesome for them. And then really the afterthought is making it awesome for the viewers at home. It sounds weird, but it's the way we've always done the events. We want the experience for the people who are taking part to be paramount. So we try and place ourselves in the shoes of the players. Where are they going to be sitting? What are they going to be doing? What are they doing when they're not actually when they're not actually competing? And just try and base everything around that, really.
Okay, cool. And it's obviously not just the live matches going on. You've got other bits and pieces around here. The merch stand. Maybe you can tell us a bit about what you do at events like this as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously sponsors involved. We can't do this free of charge, so it needs to, and it's a very chicken and egg thing. So the exposure we're getting here is primarily for the sponsors. So outside we've got Twitch came with us this time, which was great. It's the first event we've done with Twitch in the UK, so it was awesome to have them. And then we had a couple of sponsors. So there was Samsung have a booth out there, and also QPad, and they're showing off their peripherals. And then it seems that it's obviously a testament to the audience here. They're very interested in buying some merchandise, which is very nice. So we've got a few people walking around with ESL hoodies and all the teams. We don't actually sell the teams that are playing here just yet. I think the scene is still building from that perspective, but in terms of Fnatic shirts and Cloud9, etc., Dignitas, they're all for sale, so it's doing well.
And could you tell us a bit about the ESL UK Premiership? Because for me, I think it's good to have weekly matches. Creates a bit of excitement. Maybe you can tell us about that and the sort of changes you're making there, like the super weekends I've heard about.
So the ESL UK Premiership for us is a community-driven activity. It starts up, it opens up, open to everyone. Anyone can compete. If you think you're up for it, get 5 friends together, try your hand at it, and if you are good enough, you'll make it into the promotions. And that's where the old guard face off against the new guard, and we see some really interesting storylines there. From there, they go into the group stages. They play every week. It's a weekly broadcast. There's some really good narratives starting to show now. We've been doing it for 2 seasons now, and it's becoming super interesting to watch, especially as an event organizer, just seeing these players and teams develop. The biggest thing about the ESL UK Premiership now is just getting the word out there that this is happening. In Counter-Strike specifically, you don't really see any UK teams out there on an international scale. So we have to build the stage to validate it to the audience that these teams are serious teams, they are taking part. And we're just trying to raise up UK esports to the same level as the rest of Europe. We're trying to catch back up, and it's happening. And the ESL UK Premiership, at least from where I'm sitting right now, it seems to be working.
Cool. Yeah, I was just going to say, sort of what changes you're making there as well, like the super weekends and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was going to add, from a sponsorship level, so these teams, they can't survive, obviously, on their own back. They can't do it completely free of charge either. And for them to make it to the international scale, they need to also practice. And really, if they're going to do that, they need to be full-time. And the only way that's going to happen if they've got a playground to do it in. So that's what the national league, so ESL actually run national leagues all over the world. We're not the only one. Some of our national leagues are a lot more mature, so our German national league is like a really nicely finished product now, and up there with the ESL 1, etc. From a UK perspective, we're only just getting there now. I mean, if you compare our last season final, it's like worlds apart from this season. So we've come along a huge way. We introduced obviously the weekly play, and that's giving them weekly prize money. So that's now a step closer to them actually going, okay, we can even put even more time into this. And obviously with the exposure they're getting within the National Premiership, they're creating their own exposure for their sponsorship. So now they can get some more money from sponsors, and we can help them with that. They can start selling merchandise because more people are affiliating themselves and, following that narrative. So it's kind of chicken and egg, because one thing can't happen without the other. So we slowly grow it, and but it's coming on leaps and bounds.
And just to add on to that as well, we've been doing this is the second season now. We've been going for a year, and as James mentioned, there's loads of national championships that ESL are running right now, and I think we're being currently classed in the top 4 national championships internally in terms of growth and numbers. So I think that's just a testament to the teams and the fans online that this is growing, and it's going to continue to grow.
Definitely. Cheers. And I've got to ask, how is the new ESL UK studio coming along? Can you give us any news or updates on that?
Very exciting times. So our current studio came from our warehouse that we used to store events equipment in. So that's changed a lot. We used to have a joke internally that Pete was slowly taking over. So he started off in a little corner, and now it's the entire place. So that's really great. So our move to the new studio is all about now stepping up to an actual dedicated custom-made design, basically. So it really is now hitting what I think everyone is starting to come to expect from the UK. It's world class. It's not too much we can really share right now, but we're very, very excited to launch it. Be ready very early next year, so by the end of the year we'll be polishing it off.
Excellent. Okay, cool. And just sort of last few questions then, what are your thoughts on the UK eSports scene at the moment?
The UK eSports scene is interesting. Lots of personalities, lots of potential. Definitely untapped at the moment. Nobody really believes in themselves as players. That's the biggest hurdle. We need to make teams stick together, stop believing that they can make it to the ESL ones, the IEMs, and then I think the UK esports scene will really start to explode. We used to be one of the best scenes out there back in the 1.6 days, the CSS days, and I think we've definitely got it in us to take that title back. And
I mean, already we saw 2 teams get to the later stages of ESL 1 from the UK, so it is definitely working out CSGO, right? So it's making a difference, and I think the experience they get from a show like this, they won't have experienced this for a long time, or if not ever. So, and in fact, United Estonians was the first time they actually got together for a LAN anyway. So, and they've taken the trophy home. So it's great to see that there's a real passion behind it, and it's just, I think they need to see it to believe it. And that's happening. So.
Okay, excellent. And then sort of lastly, there's been a lot of events in the UK around esports recently, DreamHack, the League of Legends World Championship, how important do you think that is, raising the profile of esports in the UK?
I'd say seeing something like Worlds at Wembley Arena is just testament to show that there's a huge, huge fan base in the UK. There's a real passion behind esports. So really, it's great for us to see, because it means that all the work we're putting in isn't going to go to waste, and there is a real future behind it. So, we were there as well, enjoying every minute of it. And we hope to see more of those sort of events. Obviously, from an ESL perspective, we've got some global events that really could find a home in the UK as well. So, it's great. I think that's going to be the future, and I think it's going to be very, very good for the UK. I think it's lucky we speak English.
So I think one of the biggest hurdles as well we have is mainstream acceptability. I'm not quite sure if that's a word, but I'm going to use it. a lot of players out there, they don't like to say they're players. Getting these big events out there in the UK, it's a good way of like saying, this is something we can talk about, this is something we're proud about. It has broken down in the last few years, those walls to gaming, and these big events are really helping to smash down the last few remaining barriers.
Excellent. I guess my last question then is sort of what's next for ESL UK?
So, following the new studio, well, actually, no, I'll start again. We've got quite a lot to do before then, actually. So, on the UK side of things, we've got our League of Legends finals, which is very exciting. We finished off the year last year working with Riot on their Four Nations Cup. It was really great, actually. We got some amazing numbers together. We're going to finish off this year again with a studio, a very similar event. So League of Legends, that's going to be great. And then we've got a few exciting things very close to announcement. Actually, Pete can cover what we've just recently announced, actually.
I feel like I've been put on the spot here. My event tiredness is setting in.
Bit tight.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what we've announced and what we haven't announced.
Halo thing.
The Halo thing. There's 2 Halo things in my mind right now.
343.
343, yeah. So we've got so Halo 5 is just coming out. It might have come out. I think it's just coming out. Halo 5. So we've got 5 teams. Sorry, going to be battling out against the official 343 Halo team. These guys have been battling it out, behind closed doors for weeks, maybe even months now, and. So we're running a tournament over on our community website, play.eslgaming.com. Anyone can sign up to that one, and they're basically going to be playing against the best team, proving their worth, and that's going to be Europe-wide. I think that one is. So it's going to be an interesting one from our side. Smite Xbox. That's going to be super interesting, actually. So we've actually got some really good UK Smite teams. Some really good UK Smite teams, and. I very rarely get to say that at the moment, so I'm super pumped for this one. I think we might actually have a UK victor. So we're going to have 4 of the, I think it's 4, is it 8? Or 4? 4 the Europe's best teams flying over to the. It's either going to be, I don't know if, to the new studio or to a studio event somewhere in the Midlands in the UK. Actually, I think we have announced Leicester. Yeah. Taking part for $25,000 to qualify into the Smite World Championship, which is a $150,000 tournament. So that's going to be super exciting for UK fans, and I think there's going to be a small live audience for that one as well. So anyone in the UK, well, not anyone, it's a small audience, but a select few can come down and watch that live, which is going to be exciting for us. So for next year, we've not publicly announced anything yet. We've sent the feelers out to the teams to make sure they're happy with everything, the way the direction we're going in. We're going to be increasing the amount of seasons we have next year. This year we ran 2 seasons across the year. They were longer seasons. They were more trying to inform the audience as to who these people were, getting that really long narrative out there. Next year for Counter-Strike, we're going to be running 3 seasons instead of the 2. It's not going to be less prize money for sure. I can't say if it's going to be more yet. I'm definitely trying. We'll see if we have we can stretch the purse strings. We'd love to, raise it up and kind of push teams more towards that independence we keep talking about. But we don't want to rush things as well and then start regressing. But next year, more seasons, more prize money for Counter-Strike because there are 3 seasons, and some really cool events. And the CS players in the UK are going to be super busy. We're also looking at other titles, so we'll see where that takes us.